Hey, Katie.
Hey, Katie. Oh my God. Are we really doing this?
We are. Welcome to Higher Downloads, where two moms, entrepreneurs, and spiritual seekers are getting real about doing our best to live life in alignment.
Yeah, and by getting real, we mean the raw, unfiltered voice memo version of ourselves.
And you know what we're really obsessed with lately. Higher downloads.
You know that moment when clarity arrives seemingly from nowhere? That's it. That's the higher download from your highest self.
Exactly. Because we know everyone has the ability to access their own higher downloads. So nothing is off limits here. Everything in the wheel of life, from career, spirituality, motherhood, relationships.
Yep. Everything. And really through the lens of higher consciousness and joy. And we have to share our higher downloads too, right? So grab your coffee
Or your crystals, or whatever you need to have fun with us.
and get ready to tune in to your own wisdom channel, because receiving higher downloads means you can live your life in HD.
Higher Downloads starts now. Welcome back to Higher Downloads.
Hey, higher downloads.
My gosh, your glasses, turquoise rhinestones.
Are they not so whimsy?
You are looking so whimsical. So whimsical. I want to join you
Join me, sister.
with my own fun, funky purple rhinestone glasses.
Oh my God, I love seeing them on you. For those who are just tuning in audibly, Katie P, me, I'm wearing these bright turquoise rhinestone glasses, turquoise being my favorite color. And Katie S, you are wearing
Pinkish, purplish, beautiful rhinestone glasses that match. And we're talking about whimsy today. Whimsical, whimsy, fun.
so much fun. And in fact, that's like one of the things that we have been voice memoing about. And we're like, we got to bring it from the voice memo and the Instagram DMs into our real lives, and then also to our community. And actually, when I saw these little super fun whimsical glasses when I was on a trip recently, they were a must get for you and I, so we could continue to lean into our whimsy. So
I'm so glad. And we wore those on our whimsy friendship date that we had this week. Did we not?
oh my God, ladies, and gentlemen who are in our community, get you a friend who is willing to book a whimsical date. We had so much fun. I think we should share some of the things so people have what are the makings of maybe give them some thoughts on what a whimsical date could look like for them. And also, why is it so important?
Why is it so important? And what is it? So what is it? Some people might be seeing whimsy in the news or in the feeds or in the algorithm, but some people might not.
Yeah, our algorithms are quite different.
Yeah, you never know. And I have been seeing it a lot. And a lot of it, I think, is tied to I know we share this, is our pursuit and desire to make sure we're having more fun. And so we've been talking about wanting to have more fun, more play. I think play is another good way to describe whimsy, like whimsy just delightful and silly and playful and childlike, I think would all be descriptions on what we're talking about. And we're just talking about the idea of actually doing that as adults, bringing that into your life. And it's so easy to not do it.
It is so easy. And with the leaders that I work with, either one-on-one or in groups, I can't tell you the number of times I've heard people say, I don't have time for fun. And I just told you I was a little annoyed. I saw this man post on LinkedIn today. Let me read this post to you. Of course, it's a man. He says, be boring in the right ways. Go to bed early, wake up early, eat simple food, save money, exercise, read old books. Boring is seriously underrated. And I think there could be some positive intention behind that of maybe the intention is to come out of the hustle culture, the global pandemic, all the things we've been talking about. But to dull yourself even more feels like a system that's winning, when we all know that joy is our birthright.
You know what? This is fascinating. I love that you're reading this because I do know there's some good intent behind that in the sense of let's not all try to keep up with each other and do the coolest, latest, newest thing. And I'm so about that. I get that. Doing
Yeah,
stuff
like the
just to
rat
keep
race,
up.
keep up with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. However, my inner soul, my inner being, it likes to be creative. It likes to play. It likes to do new things, try new things. Maybe his inner soul likes to be at home doing boring stuff. Let's hope that's the answer.
And fair. But a fear, especially for women, is women have systemically and historically been subdued and told to play small, be small, martyrdom, put everyone before you. And so I feel like this idea of boring and simplicity feels like a wet blanket to me. But to each their own. I see where you're saying, and I could get behind like some positive intent, but that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about wet blanket. We're talking about like how, well, for me, I'll speak for myself. This is not regression. This is rebellion. This is like refusing to stay in survival mode as my like persona. And maybe you and I are seeing an algorithm reflected back in us in social media, or the things that we're seeing, women specifically being hungry for permission to not always be serious all the time, not always like keep up with the rat race, like not always feel like we have to be performative and our best selves.
And put together. I think not always put together.
Ooh, yeah. I want to click on that again when we come back to like some of the things we did during our date. Like, how am I going to look doing this with the idea of being put together?
Yeah. So Whimsy. And we just had this friendship date a couple of days ago, and I can feel it coming back, and that I feel like I'm incorporating it a little bit more into my regular day routine. So it felt so good. And I'm excited to share that with everybody too, on what Whimsy means to us and why it's important and what different things it might look like, and what we did, the fun that we had.
I know. And back to like, why now? Why are we talking about this? I think, and like holding myself accountable, right? Like I loved Friday and it was so fun to do it with you, but you're right. I'm trying to figure out like, how am I responsible for adding some fun, some flair, some excitement in my own life? But the thing that's fascinating talking to another friend this weekend is she's been really another mom. She's been really overwhelmed with war, collective grief, the political overwhelm. And by war, I mean like the literal actual war with Iran. And her stuff at work being very, very intensive. And so just her entire body going to threat response. So when I was sharing like the fun we had, it was almost like that joy felt counter narrative to how she was feeling. And I think that's it, like women being conditioned out of the play. And it took a while for that nut to crack. And anyway, so I have a lot to say about like the why now. I'd love this.
Yeah. And what you said earlier about the kind of martyrdom piece, right? Like women are conditioned to serve others, right? And this is serving yourself. This is not serving a higher purpose other than feeling good and bringing joy back to your life, which that does not make people's priorities list a lot of times if you lead based on cultural expectations. So this is definitely.
Oh, sorry. Just something you said helped me think about like joy is not the reward. Joy is the fuel.
Okay. I was going to say, finish that off for me. Joy is not the reward. It is, but it's also regenerative reward, refueling reward.
Yeah. Like by that, I mean, sitting around and waiting for something to bring you joy. Like, how do you use your desire to seek joy? Your soul, our souls, I believe, our souls came here to experience a range of human emotions, one of the highest of which is joy and happiness. And so where might you be more intentional about putting that fuel in the tank? And you're right, then like that becomes the byproduct and it is regenerative. Yeah.
The spark of life, the life force. My 2026 word of the year is life force. And that's something I've really been thinking about lately is how do you sustain that? And how do you bring it back whenever you feel like you're feeling depleted? And this has been a good exercise for me in that. So I've definitely been feeling a little bit burnt out and feeling like I've been trying to kind of recapture that spark and excitement without feeling like I'm having to overcome it. So this was a great, great thing for me to feel like, oh yeah, this is what it is to have fun and to feel that, excitement for life again.
Yeah, and I don't think we're alone. We've talked at length on this podcast in different episodes about how our bodies are synced with the circadian rhythms of Earth, and Q1 of every year just sucks. Like it's the cold, all the things, the taxes. You and I've been talking about taxes for our businesses and personal. Like that stuff just feels like a slog. It's not fun, but spring brings like new life, and April showers bring May flowers, and we're seeing new, like, I don't know. And so it feels like the right time, even just with the rhythms of life, to be reminded of joy.
True. Such a good point. Such a good point. We're literally just at the rebirth time.
Yeah.
Of the year.
So it's okay to it's absolutely okay to feel like you're in the middle of the muck. And when you can, bring some whimsy.
Yes. And not at the end of the list. Because if you wait till your list is finished, it will never come.
Yeah. It's got to be, I call it a big rock, that whole thing about, I don't know, it gets attributed to lots of people, but a professor, a teacher, or mom or something has ingredients on the table. They're bigger rocks, and then there's sand and pebbles and water. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's the exact same amount of material, but in the same size glass jar. But if you put the sand and the water and the pebbles in first, and then you try to put the big rocks in, it'll overflow. Mm-hmm. But if the exact same materials, you put the big rocks in first, then let the pebbles come in and fill in the gaps, and the sand fill in the gaps, and the water fill in the gaps, it'll all fit. I just find that a lot of times people, women, men, are not making themselves and their own happiness, fulfillment, or regenerative, sustainable life force is not one of their big rocks. And who benefits from that? Who benefits from you forsaking yourself?
That's not a hypothetical question, is it?
Yes.
No, the people selling you stuff to feel better.
Yeah. The capitalism, the pharmaceutical industry benefits, the
food industry, fast food, convenience food.
Yeah, so much outside of us benefits from us being dysregulated. And so sacred activism, living a divine, happy life. Like joy is not an option. We have to put
it's not an option to skip it. And it's who benefits from your joy. And that is the people you actually care about, your family, your friends, your children, yourself, most importantly, but your family and friends cannot benefit from you unless you're actually putting yourself first.
Oh my God. I just thought about that. Like I've been listening to some podcasts and some things about end of life, and we have a 97-year-old great grandfather in our lives. And I think about kind of at the end of life, what are the things that really matter? And we're talking about the things that really matter, like the things and the people around you that really matter.
Absolutely. I don't think at our deathbeds, I operate this all the time. Is like, if I'm on my deathbed, what am I going to regret more? Am I going to regret not burning myself out to crank through certain things till 2 a.m.? Or am I going to regret not having fun and doing the fun thing and making the memory and making myself feel better? And I think we all know the answer is the fun, the self-care, the fulfillment.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. So clearly why it's important to us.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about our specific whimsical date?
Yes. So let's start with what we did. And then I also want to talk about some just different ideas that we have for other whimsical dates.
Oh, yeah, because we have this is going to keep going. And because our algorithms are showing us things on social media, we're getting a backlog of some fun ideas.
Yes. It's great. Okay. So let's lay it out. Because I remember initially we were like, I've been voice memoing you and we have not actually spent any quality time in several weeks. So like, let's try to find a date, right? And I remember sending the date and being like, FYI, this date's available and I'm free pretty much after like 3 p.m. So that means we could actually not have like a 1 hour, 2 hour or like late night slot. And that really just opened the door, which made it fun to say like, so what do we want to do?
I know it was just the time itself, that time block was a joy. Like, wait, what? We can like, quit early on a Friday and have a much longer time together. And so you're right. Instead of fitting it in like this like 1 hour happy hour or a late night after the kids are in bed and we're already tired. So that in and of itself gave spaciousness.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember us being like, well, like, what's the vibe? Are you feeling like you want to sink into a couch and like lay back, or are you feeling active? Because I know we've gone to the sauna a fair amount and we love the sauna, the red light sauna.
I do.
But sometimes it wipes you out. So that was on the table, but we decided to nix that so we'd have energy for the rest of the time.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like I remember you saying like, what's the vibe? And my immediate answer was, I need to laugh. And I can feel it. Like a lot has been really heavy for me lately. And a lot also has been really good. Work has been taking off. Thank you, universe, more please. My work cup runneth over. And it's a level of intensity and discipline I haven't had to have in a while. So just a lot of seriousness. So I was like, I need to laugh. I want to laugh.
Yes. Yeah. And I was feeling like I need separation from my routine. I need to not look at my email. I need to not look at my text. I need to turn off, check out. And like I felt like the embodied piece, like I was like, I want to be immersed in something, somewhere different, right? And for me, I always love outside. So we ended up going to a park. And I think being outside with nature, with the wind, we sat on pallets, or not pallets, but like blankets, yeah, and just got comfortable.
Yeah, it literally reminded me of a play date. Like I actually was telling my son, and he's like, well, why won't you be here? And so I said, well, I'm having a play date with Miss Katie. And I'll never not get a little eye raised, but I love that. It's so important for me to raise a child that understands the importance of friendship and connection and community. And one of the best ways to do that is to model it. They see your actions more than your words. But that did feel fun to be at a park and with blankets. And we brought lots of just fun things to do. Oh, nature is number one for me. So literally touching grass. And it's been really rainy in Austin. Remember? That was another big thing. We both were talking about how we didn't get as much outside time as we would have liked. And so being able to be in nature and having the luck of a nice day was really great.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Not too hot. Perfect. And I love Zilker Park in Austin. You can see the downtown skyline. It's right on the river and there's always people out there. It did get more crowded as the evening went on, but I always love people watching out there. And it's the same place where they have ACL and it's just a big wide open grassy patch with dogs and people. And it's just so cool. It's so great.
It is. And so we also, I didn't even think about it until just now. We really set ourselves up by going to Zilker Park to be around other people doing quite whimsy things.
Yes.
People go to Zilker Park to be
yeah.
There was a myriad. You could write a whole novel based on just that one slice of time and what people were doing there.
Absolutely.
And other people made us laugh. Okay, we have to talk about that. What did we do? And then some other things we witnessed that were also added to our joy too.
Yep. So we've talked about this before in this podcast about body temple dance. So, and our body temple dance teacher moved out of state. We miss you, Annie.
So sad. Come back, Annie.
And so we've been missing our body temple dance class, and it's just an embodiment practice. It's a somatic practice, trauma informed, and it takes you through emotions, and it's very raw and whatever. And so we haven't been able to go to that class lately. So you, Katie, KP, thankfully, one of your jobs was to put together a playlist so we could have a mini body temple dance session at the park, which was amazing.
It was, and it was so fun to curate that. Like, it was fun to, I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved going to class and feeling held in that container of telling, helping to walk us through. But for me to give some thought to that process, and I'm probably not going to nail the exact verbiage. So don't quote this for those of you interested in body temple dance. So there is an actual methodology, but what I remember as an attendee were that there were 3 phases. So that's like, one is like kind of just the unfurling, and we start on the ground, really slow movements in our hips and moving parts of our bodies we don't often move, and our ankles and things as we sit through. And the reason why that's so important for trauma informed and things is because we often get into fight, flight, freeze. So we're stuck. Our bodies are really stuck. So the unfurling and the warming up and the coming from the ground. And then the best, I think, for me is like, then the middle part's like rage. It's like a high energy, jumping, dancing, pumping fists, like just moving a lot of that stagnant energy. And for women specifically, it feeling safe to be able to like channel big emotions.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anger, but big emotions.
Yeah.
And then the final piece being about rest, because like we don't often give that to ourselves. And so then how do you integrate all that and just rest and breathe into and allow your body to feel what it felt like to move that stagnant energy? So it was fun to do research on like songs, and boy, did I find some good like feminine rage songs. And that was fun. And it also just in doing it, it helped teach me that I can do this for myself. Cause I think sometimes I get stuck in like going to people's classes and feeling over dependent on someone else filling that need. So anyway, just a little extra thought.
Yeah. And it was so delightful. And we did it in it was like 12 minutes. Was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically 4 songs, 3-ish minutes, something like that. And it was, you think that's not a lot of time until you're dancing in public in a park, realizing you're being potentially being watched for 12 minutes doing all these different emotions. And that was fun. That was a fun exercise. I knew when we said yes to that it was going to be a little bit like that, but then to actually be in it and just being like, fuck it.
Yeah, literally. Cause I remember 2 separate people like walking by with their dogs and like still, fist pumping, doing my awkward body rolls and dancing and being like, oh, I've only done this in a studio where it was a safe space.
Yeah.
Like, oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. But I appreciate that because it's a lot of inner work that I've done, that if I'm honoring my needs, it's not my responsibility what someone else's reaction is. But also, Katie, we have no idea. Like, we could have unlocked something for someone else, Like, you never know. Like, maybe they decided to go do a little fist bump, weird rate thing later.
The stories in our heads on what people are thinking and saying are totally not right. And anyway, later we'll talk about the group class we saw. They were doing all kinds of stuff on another part of the park later. So I love Austin for that. Not everybody, but there's a lot of somatic, expressive options in Austin. So it's so fun. But it was delightful. And I felt my emotion, like my energy shifted. Once I got laid back and just looking up at the trees at the end in the rest phase, I was like, I feel like a different person. And it's only been 10 minutes, 10
minutes. I know. That is what washed over me for 2 things. One was, whoa, the music really worked. Like Katie did it with me, and the awe of that. And then just being like, wow, I really genuinely feel different. Mm-hmm. How great. And we did it kind of towards the beginning of the date, which I think felt really nice. It just opened up more for us. I don't know, or at least for me.
Yeah, I think it set the tone, which was nice. Set the container, really shifted the intention. What do we want from this? So that was really nice. Create some separation. Now, this was after we had a fair amount of just like chatting and catching up too. So we didn't just go straight into that.
Yes, because we often are passing ships. So despite the plethora of voice memos that may fly between our messages, there's still a lot of like live catch up to do. Mm-hmm. So that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. Well, what?
What was another standout thing for you that we did?
Well, one of the big ones for sure was our creative outlet that we had during the Whimsy session.
Yes, we did some art.
We did some art. My job was to I have lots of art in my household. My kiddos love painting. So I have all kinds of paint brushes and palettes and all kinds of stuff. And we painted rocks.
We did. And we painted them with empowering messages. And our hope was how do we seed this out? How do we take what's happening for our Whimsy date and then have somebody find this rock with a really cool message? And it I'm obsessed with the idea of the ripple effect. So the idea of us finding our joy and filling our cups, how might that ripple out to other people? So then we painted the rocks together, but then our homework over the weekend was to go plant them around Austin. And that's been really fun to do.
Yep.
Have you finished?
I have one more in my car. I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity, and it's the big one. So I'm like, it's got to be in a spot that I can leave it. So, but you've planted one. Have you planted more than one?
I've done both. I had two.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Get some colors. We had to think about our inspirational messages, and one of mine was this where it says "Don't wait," but then the NT of don't is crossed out and the WA of wait is crossed out. So if you look at it says don't wait, but then if you X those out, it says do it.
I know. I love that idea. And didn't you put it close to your gym?
In the gym. Yeah. Outside of the gym.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did one, I think it just says you're pretty, because I think more people need to hear that, feel that. And another one of mine was, one of my favorite phrases, a new world. Did I write a new world or new way? I couldn't remember what the rock was pretty small.
I think you said way. Yeah.
The way is possible. And that's my positive matriarchal desire for us to wonder, does it always have to be this way?
Mm-hmm.
And accepting status quo. So
love it. Love it. So fun. Get a little creativity out too. Painting's always fun. So that was really nice.
Cathartic and choosing your color and seeing something transform right before your eyes. Just never underestimate that.
Yeah. And while we were there, I feel like this was right in the middle of all of this. These people right next to us was so funny. There's 4 people at first, and it turned into what, 12? How many? There was 14 people, a lot of people there, all youngish, their mid-20s probably. And they were setting up a little table, and you totally called that it was a gender reveal at the park, all their friends. And then the next thing we know, these 2 guys run up wearing these big blow-up baby suits, one boy, one girl.
Like the blow-up sumo wrestler things. I need people to picture this, dressed like babies with big old diapers. And, it has the fan in the suit. So they're all puffy and hilarious.
Yeah. And they start wrestling each other. And we think oh my gosh, this is it. This is the gender reveal. They're about to keep wrestling. And then it's going to be obvious because you can see them wrestling in the park. They're huge. We're like, when is it going to be? And I remember being look, they're just drawing this out. This is so come on already. Tell us the gender. And it was so funny because they did not tell us the gender.
No, and
I honestly felt like their whole plan was a bit whimsical.
Exactly.
Yeah. They had 6 or 7 different kind of teases for if it was girl or boy before they actually revealed it. So funny. Different games. I thought that was, at first I was annoyed because I just wanted to know. And then I was like, no, that's fun. They're making this fun.
I know. We didn't even talk about that part because we were super annoyed while we were and I even screamed at one point after the 3rd thing. Remember, I was like, so is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah. And they're like, we don't know.
We don't know. And then they come over with cupcakes, raspberry and blueberry cupcakes, so pink and blue. And they invited us to join in on one of the things of choose if you think it's a boy or a girl. We're just going to see which cupcakes go first. And then that's how we learned that they had multiple different fake out or whatever things to keep the couple in suspicion or suspense, I guess suspense.
Yeah.
And then that was when it hit me, but we never really debriefed this. I'm just live debriefing it with you. It was how special for this couple to have friends that are this dedicated to not just do one thing to reveal the gender, but to have this much fun and laughter. And then we got to be included in a little part. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really cute. Good job by them.
We both programmed still a little bit to like focus on the outcome. Is it a boy or a girl?
I
Like,
know.
enjoy the ride, bitch.
Buckle up because it's not over yet. Yep.
For those of you wondering, it was a girl.
It was. It was the final. And I thought this part was cute that they originally had this kind of table set up, but it was actually the table covered in a like tablecloth that had the balloons inside. So they had to then take everything off the table, take the tablecloth off the table, open the box. And that's when it was like there the whole time.
It
But
was right behind them the whole time, the
yeah,
actual thing. So yeah, what a
yeah,
great job. Like, how fun. Good job, those two friends who really set it all up. It was really
very
special.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So they added to our Whimsy, and I think we added to theirs too. And that
Mhm.
was all fun. So, oh, I was going to say, we did some other things, like some of our favorite go-tos. We did some like tarot type pull, card pull.
Mhm.
We have not talked about this on the podcast, but I practiced my mind sight.
Yes. Yes,
We
you
have,
did.
we've not talked about that on the podcast, but just a quick little what it is. Well, first, y'all know that we listen to the Telepathy Tapes podcast and are obsessed with it. And there's a great episode on mind sight in season 2. And Katie, you and I listened to it on the way back from our retreat.
Yep. Our New Year's 2026 retreat.
Yeah. And so it really piqued our interest as individuals and as moms about how this skill of your higher consciousness seeing outside of your body, it's not just our eyes that can see and sense, but how you could continue to cultivate a sense of intuition and seeing outside of your body. Like one of the Superhuman. There's that, you watched it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Documentary.
Mm-hmm. Mindsight's also in that documentary about Superhuman. But the crazy thing about it is you wear a blindfold that is a complete blackout blindfold. And the idea is to train your higher consciousness to see outside of your eyes. And the wild thing listening to that podcast was to know how many tens of thousands of students in China, India, I think Canada was another one, there's whole classrooms in China where the teacher is at the front and every student in the classroom is wearing a blindfold and they're still seeing. And so like how this is being taught in other parts of the world to really just tap into our superhumanness and to test the bounds of what this earthly life has put on us as humans.
I would say what we think we know.
What we think we know about our own limitations.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. What's commonly accepted, what we think we know.
The stories we tell ourselves on what our capacity is. So my son has taken mindsight lessons and I've taken mindsight lessons, and it's definitely a skill you have to practice. It takes patience. It takes trust. It takes a lot to bypass the left side of your brain, the analytical, the deep, deep, deep doubt that comes with, am I just seeing like through little tiny microscopic holes in the mask, or is this like real?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't, and you've never gotten to see me actually do it. And so and plus I've been wanting to keep practicing to practice my intuition. So that was fun that you got to do it for me. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it for yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. So my daughter's taken her 2 lessons, and so I've seen her do it, and I haven't technically taken lessons yet, although I intend to. I've just done some intuition practice at home. So it was really fun for me to get to see somebody else do it just besides her. So it was really fun.
Yeah. And I think being with you and doing it after a bunch of laughing and dancing and things, remember I was telling you, I'm having new windows forming.
I love it. Yeah.
The very top of my head was really wanting to come through. So I can't wait to. And it reminds me, Dr. Brooke, who I've taken the lessons from, and you're as well. Shout out, Dr. Brooke. If you are interested in mindsight lessons, let us know. We can hook you up. But she talks about don't do it. Don't practice mindsight if you're in a negative headspace, if your frequency is really low, because it has to be about your higher self. And I'm like, wait, I literally just did that. I was being so whimsical and fun with you. Open up some new windows.
Yeah, I know. It's so fun. I love it. Well, I feel like one of the things for me is I do a lot. I like alone time, and I do a lot of stuff on my own. But there's something really special about doing signing up to do something silly with someone else and like what comes of that. And it just reminds me of, I remember back in like high school, right? Whenever you just now have a car, so you have a little more freedom, or you have a friend who has a car, but you don't have all these obligations in life yet. And so like you don't really have anything else to do other than like go have fun, hang out. Let's go to Walmart and, mess around. Like there's like basically
Wait. Did you do that? Because I did.
100%. Small town girl, Walmart was the hangout spot.
Oh my God. One of my favorite whimsical things I did with my high school girlfriends was we put rubber butts on. We tied them around. Like it looked like you just had a big butt outside your, like naked butt outside your pants. And we would go to Walmart and like just watch people. But this was before we even had cameras on phones. So we didn't capture any of it. And I think that's the thing. It wasn't because we were trying to like make content. We were literally just doing it so we could laugh.
Yes. And that's exactly right. Cause I'm like, I feel like a lot of teenagers now get their outlet from doing their like TikTok dances or whatever. And that kind of has a purpose.
It has. I didn't even think about that. I'm having a live download. Teenagers now are doing Whimsy, but they're posting it for validation or feedback.
Ooh. Yeah. And we've even been talking lately. I think you and I talked about this of doing what people are now calling it like, let's go 90s and like leave our phones at home when we go for a walk or whatever. And I even saw an ad for this like little handheld thing that does work without a phone, but it gives you directions and you can do like Uber, but it doesn't let you talk or text. So you could technically like find your way around town and get ride shares, but without having your cell phone with you.
Wow.
So
what is it? I would have thought it.
No, I'm sure it'll come up again, but I just saw the ad like last week, and the name didn't hit my radar yet, but yeah. So there's definitely an itching for like analog or like being offline and not posting everything. And I think there's more and more of not posting stuff, but just this idea of doing stuff for fun, just to be silly, just to laugh, just to like, I have just been itching for that lately. So this really scratched my itch and I just, want to do more and more.
I know. And it was like, oh my God, we have to do this next month. And I'm the neuroscience like nerd. I'm always bringing that into my work. And what we did is like the laughter and the play was a huge natural dopamine spike, not like a fake dopamine doom scrolling, and well, I already know this. And I just had this like, it opens the brain's learning pathway. So no wonder mindsight I could see you become more receptive to new beliefs, new patterns. You raise your frequency. You're in a playful state. Like it literally helps to rewire you and change your literal brain and body chemistry. So like, it's not just a metaphor. Like it's actually real-time changes in your body. And I felt it. I know you sounds like you did too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it just to give me a contrast too on, getting in the habit of being like, okay, get up early, be consistent, do the thing. And then to break up that pattern and be like, no, like have a different feeling. Now I can compare and be like, well, this feels way different than I felt on Friday when we were having fun,
Yeah.
So it's a nice reminder to tie in on, that you need both.
You do. And I appreciate you talking about alone time because I need it too. I'm a Cancer sun, so like I need some of my little hermit time. But the co-regulation, the ability for us to like have enough trust in our friendship, we could dance silly, laugh, like even making eye contact while we were doing crazy stuff, like that is co-regulation. And that brings out oxytocin. And so that tells both of our bodies like we're safe, and that safety opens up connection, and connection is an oxytocin. And there's a neuroscientist that I met recently at a conference, Paul Zak. He has an awesome book about like the neuroscience of trust and the biology of trust and the role that oxytocin plays in connection. And so I don't know, I get all excited about that, but like we really did our bodies, our communities good. Plus it was so fun.
Yeah, that's such a good point. The trust factor and the having someone who wants to do that too and is willing to actually do it and be silly. Well, I have another example, which we haven't done it yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And I feel like it falls in the same category.
Okay.
We are all going with my family, your family, and one other family on a trip.
Yeah.
And I love this. One of the other families came up with the idea that why don't we draw names and pick out silly outfits for each of us to wear at the airport? And this was like, it's like 2 or 3 months leading up to the trip. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, why am we not doing this kind of stuff all the time? Because there's like anticipation and silliness, and then we're going to all do it together. And I'm just like, this is so fun. I'm like, for why? For no reason other than just to be silly. I can't wait.
I know. And like, it's going to be embarrassing too. Like, I am getting so much joy and laughter out of thinking about, because we picked names, right? And so we don't know who has our names and who's preparing our outfits. And it's 6 adults, a mix of men and women. And like, I keep getting so much joy out of imagining the person wearing my outfit. And I also am getting like fearful happiness joy of what the person picked out for me.
Yeah. Because it's so funny. It's like, who has me? Who is sitting at home thinking about what is Katie going to have to wear? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be rough and it's going to be hilarious. And look, talk about modeling for our children. We're showing them surprise and delight. I'm just unpacking this in real time. We're showing them surprise and delight. We're showing them that it's okay to not show up and be at the airport and be perfectly like coiffed. I don't know if you ever, I was told, I didn't ride in a plane until I was like a teenager, but I remember there being this thing passed down of like, you have to look nice on a plane so people think you have status. Now people
yeah. I mean, that was legit back in the day.
Men and women would really dress up for plane rides. And so that was something passed down to me. And now people are in their pajamas, but you know, like it's okay to just show up, and then I'm sure that they'll witness a lot of laughter.
Yes. Yep. I'm looking forward to it. And I just feel like it's another great example. So I'm glad we're bringing more and more silliness into our day-to-day lives.
Yeah. So future things that we've not yet done, but we want to. So ideas, if you're thinking about planning a whimsical date, one that you sent to me, like a video that I cannot stop laughing. We have to do it, but we should do it with more people, is like people wear funny wigs. And then it's like a wig snatch, like game of tag kind of thing.
Yes, wig snatching. So like you battle. It's like 2 people go up and you have the wig on and you're like trying to snatch the wig. It's almost like a fight, but it's like, but not aggressive at all, right? It's like so hilarious. I can't.
Oh my God. It's kind of like how we saw those guys in the big baby blow up things were wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, wig snatching. So yeah.
So one of that I've seen I really want to do is they call it like rage painting, where you like go outside and wear like maybe like plastic bags or whatever, but you just have canvases and you're just like throwing paint everywhere on canvases and stuff, like getting messy, making art, getting your rage out. Oh, it sounds so much fun.
I know. And it kind of reminds me, there was I feel like I haven't seen it in a while, but do you remember like Trash the Dress, like wedding dress stuff? People would kind of go and just let be. And it kind of reminds me of that, but that sounds so fun.
I know. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I keep seeing this other one where like I see a lot of friend group party events kind of a thing. And that does sound fun, but I'm like,
we did that for our birthday party last year. We actually had backyard games because we wanted people to like laugh and have fun. And I think people are bringing that back, like the old school birthday party type things, or those minute to win it games where, oh my God, I think it's so funny when they do Hungry Hippo, or like someone has like someone by the legs and they're like moving them backwards and forward, and they have some kind of bucket where they have to get balloons and they're like human Hungry Hippo.
100%. That is such a good one.
Yeah,
we did our silly string fight. That was pretty fun.
Silly string. Yeah. That was really, really fun. I remember like my cheeks like actually like just hurting, like because it was so fun, like running around doing it.
Yeah, it was great. I know. I'm sure there's 20 more and I can't think of them right now, but there will be more in our future. So we will report back on the different ones that we try. And we want to hear your favorite whimsy events, whimsy activities, whatever it is.
Yes, because whimsy is not a luxury for whenever like you think life's just going to slow down. We want to incorporate that in our everyday lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just as important, if not the most important, to be honest.
So share those whimsies and trust until next time. Trust whatever higher download you have that's pulling you into whatever, like I need to laugh or I need to play or I need this. Trust that and what will we say? Follow that whimsy.
You just experienced another higher download. We are so grateful you joined us on this journey.
Yep. So if you're feeling that high vibe energy and want more, subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if this episode sparks something in you, we'd be over the moon if you'd share it with someone who might need this download too.
Yep. Connect with us on Instagram at Higher Downloads, where we share more behind the scenes magic and some bonus content.
You can also find full episodes, transcripts, show notes, and resources at higherdownloads.com.
Until next time, trust your downloads and keep vibrating higher.